This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
Hi, I'm Cindy Harris. Welcome to Easy Entertaining.
Chicken piccata is a very elegant dish, but it's really easy to put together. And when you're serving it for your friends and family, just add some pasta or rice. For me, one of the key ingredients to chicken piccata is lemons. And so we're going to use a lot of lemon juice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 2 lemons, but I'm going to take the juice of 1.5 lemons. And you'll notice what I'm doing is I'm squeezing it over a little strainer. That way I catch any of the seeds. Now, when you go to cut your second lemon, make sure you cut it from top to bottom, lengthwise. It doesn't matter in terms of juicing, but it does matter because that second half, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut some really, really thin slices of lemon. And I don't want them to be full circles. I want them just to be half circles of lemon. And so when you're cutting them, really go thin. These are actually going to cook all the way through when we make our sauce, and you can actually eat them. So the thinner, the better. And then I'm going to get 1 nice sized shallot, and I'm going to go ahead and mince that up very, very finely. Now, a shallot is kind of like an onion, but it's milder and a little sweeter. Now, we don't want big pieces of it in our sauce, so go ahead and take the time to run your blade through it until you get it into a nice fine mince. Now, over at the stove, I have my chicken fillets, and they used to call them in the old days chicken cutlets. And basically what it is it's a chicken breast that's been sliced very thin. And then I'm going to get 1/2 cup of flour, some kosher salt, and some fresh black pepper. I'm going to mix that together in a little container. I've got a little dish like this, but you could use a plate. But even though we've seasoned our flour, it's always important to season the meat that we're using too. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little kosher salt on top of the chicken, put a little bit of cracked pepper on top, and I'm just going to do this as I go along. And I'm going to put my frying pan on a medium-high heat, and I'm going to add just about a tablespoon or so of olive oil. And I'm going to get that oil nice and hot. And then what I'm going to do with my tongs is I'm going to take the pieces of chicken and I'm going to individually dip them into the flour. Now, once you get the chicken pretty well coated, then you want to kind of lift it up and kind of shake it so you get a lot of that excess flour off. We just want a nice thin coating, and then you're just going to gently lay it right into your pan of hot oil, and then just continue on with your chicken. Now, in this size pan, I can get about 3 chicken fillets in, so I'm going to actually cook this chicken in 2 batches. Now, as you come to some pieces of chicken that haven't been seasoned thoroughly, go ahead and take the time and put some salt and pepper on them. Now, that way they're nicely seasoned before we put them into our flour. So remember, we don't want to crowd the chicken into our pan. So comfortably, I can get 3 fillets in here. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to let these cook for just a couple of minutes. It's a thin slice of chicken. We want it just a nice golden coloring on top. And then flip them over again on the other side for just a couple of minutes until we get that nice color. And then remove them off to a plate and pop them into your oven. Have the oven just on warm, just so they can sit there. And then we're going to go in and immediately put 1 more tablespoon of olive oil in our pan. And by this time, your pan's pretty hot. So a lot of times what I do is I then start to lower my temperature. So you'll notice I get the chicken right in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn my temperature down to medium heat. Now, these second fillets, again, just a couple of minutes on each side, and you're going to start to get some nice color on them as well. Then we're going to take them out and we're going to put them into the plate that we've got warming in the oven. Now you'll notice I've got the pan off the heat, and while it's off the heat, I'm going to go ahead and put my shallots in the pan. And to that, I'm going to add 1 cup of a dry white wine. And for cooking, I always use a Sauvignon Blanc. And the reason I keep the pan off the heat is because the wine is flammable and I wouldn't want to accidentally, start a little flame thing going on. But I go ahead and put it right back on my medium heat, and I use a little wooden spoon. And I'm trying to scrape those nice brown bits off the bottom of the pan because that's where a lot of flavor is. And once I've got that going, then I'm going to take my lemon slices, I'm going to pop those in, give them a stir because they're going to start cooking as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my 1/4 of a cup of fresh lemon juice, 1/4 of a cup of drained capers, and then I've got 2 tablespoons of butter that I'm going to go ahead and put in the pan. And that butter is really going to make this a nice sauce. What I do is I swirl it around with my wooden spoon. It actually starts to emulsify and thicken this sauce. And then we're just going to let this kind of hang out and cook for about 4 to 5 minutes. And what's going to happen is that sauce flavor is going to intensify and reduce in volume just a little bit. And then I like to take my chicken fillets and put them back into the sauce, but coat them on each side. And then that way that sauce is all over those fillets when I go to serve them. Now when it is time to serve them, I would put either some pasta or some rice on the plate, and then put your fillet and then just spoon some of that sauce on. You want to make sure to get some slices of lemon and definitely some of those delicious capers. You just can't go wrong with this chicken piccata. It's those wonderful sautéed slices of chicken, really tender, and then of course that fresh lemon and those delicious caper berries. Well, this is definitely a hit at my house.
For more information on this episode, go to our website and visit the Easy Entertaining show notes. Also, if you have any questions or ideas for us, send us an email. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.